Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we sure appreciate you guys coming on this morning. If you can, we love you dearly. What an audience that we have. And let's see here. You getting your notifications? Okay, let me do this. Let's see if I can. There we go. Let's see if I can see you guys. Okay. And we'll do a little roll call this morning. Okay, who's up first? Kevin. Kev, you're at the top. Andrea, Niagara Falls. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Sandy, Carrie. Sandy's from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Carrie's from Nebraska. Lynn from Aurora. Rain Cloud, how are you? Michigan. Maria, Cindy, Mary, Janine, how are you? Dennis, Sandy, Vancouver, Washington. Rosa, Moriel, Karen, Peterborough. Nick from our staff. Gloria, New York. Gail, Saskatchewan. Shauna, Val Karen, Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Dave is from Cardiff. Cheryl, West Virginia. Karen from Minnesing. Frida, Joanne, Egansville. Karen, there's 3 Karens on this morning, at least, Innisville. Frances Marie, good morning. Lisa Marie. Linda, New Brunswick, good morning. Annette, how are you? Danny Lay, I like that name, Danny Lay. Danny Lay Hill from Iron Bridge. I like that. Nativity, good morning. Heather, Miramichi, how are you? Milika, Darlene, good morning from Alberta. Margaret, Arlene, Wanda, Karen, Coldwater. Natalie, how are you? Fran, Fran says I went right by her. Fran, I didn't see your name. I mean it. Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Joyce, Judy, Luella, West Tennessee. Good morning. Francis, how are you from Vaughan? Bonnie, Little Britain. Maryland, Charlottetown. Brenda, good morning. We love you guys. Thank you. Mary, Anaheim, California. Karen, oh, these Karens this morning. Little Britain, Sandy. 3 Sandys. Yeah, there are 3 Sandys. Veronica, Natalie. Did I say good morning to you, Nat, already? Dorothy. Dave, Sue. Hi, Sue from Bolton. Kristen, Saskatchewan. Louise, good morning to you. Annette, ça va bien, Annette, ça va bien, from New Brunswick. Peggy, Fresno, California. Hi, Peggy. Welcome to our program. Patricia, Denise, Helga, 2 more. Maria, Valenstein, Ontario. Lori, Alberta. Carol from Wasaga Beach. Guys, thanks for saying hello. We appreciate it. We love you dearly. And you guys are the greatest audience ever. And thank you for making this the #1 podcast, health podcast in Canada. I'm not even sure if it's not the #1 podcast of Canada. Not sure of that, but I know it's the #1 health podcast in Canada. And wouldn't we love to make it #1 in the USA too? Thanks for all of you joining us. And when you can, you join us live. We love that. Okay, we understand not everybody can, but we love you for doing it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before I get to a couple of other stories or studies or whatever, because that's what we're doing, let me just talk about Tylenol again, okay? Because we got a lot of feedback. I posted something. I don't post enough, guys. But yesterday I posted on our private Facebook group. Now, put your hand up if you are part of our private Facebook group. And if you're not, you should be. Okay? You should be part of our private Facebook group. Okay? We got 25,000 people as part of that private Facebook group. And we love it because, again, a lot of times there's good feedback, there's questions, there's people posting. We like that, you know. And sometimes I'll go on there and challenge because someone, I am very biased, okay? So the other day someone posted something on coffee and I jumped on it because I saw it. And you guys know me, I've been defending coffee for 50 years, okay? So nothing's new under the sun when it comes to coffee because it's just good for you, the real vitamin C. Anyway, I jumped on it because someone had something negative about coffee and I won't tolerate that. No, listen, you can post it, but just understand if I see it, I might comment on it. I might not. Okay? So yesterday I posted something again on Tylenol and autism. Okay? And some people were upset about that. No, I don't think they were upset at me, but they're upset because they don't like the, I don't know how to say the simplicity of just naming Tylenol. Listen, guys. Listen, Lindas. Listen, Larry. Okay? Here's what I said. Okay? Here's what I said when we did our program a couple of days ago. I just want to clarify it. Okay? And this was mentioned because it came out, it didn't come out just the other day, but it has come out in the last few years that there's a cause and effect, meaning that Tylenol appears, okay? There seems to be a link, not the only link, but a link to autism. When during pregnancy, mama is taking Tylenol. And it's interesting because there was a lot of pushback about that. People didn't, they come on. No. This came, Harvard School of Public Health put out a statement. They reviewed all the literature and they said there's a link. They said, okay? They said there's a link between Tylenol usage during pregnancy and autism. And as a matter of fact, the makers of Tylenol, who denied that, by the way, they denied there's any link, but they said, the makers of Tylenol said, you shouldn't be taking Tylenol during pregnancy. That's what they said. Okay? So, even though they said there's no link between Tylenol and autism, according to the makers of Tylenol, they said you shouldn't be taking it. And, consult with your doctor. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to clarify that. And by the way, okay, the public, Harvard's School of Public Health said this also. It appears that one thing we all know about Tylenol, I don't know if you guys knew, yeah, you guys are the smartest. You know this. Rule of thumb, okay? Rule of thumb. Look, let me finish. The rule of thumb is Tylenol, liver, okay? The rule of thumb. Advil, kidneys, okay? Advil, kidneys. Tylenol, mostly the liver. And Harvard even gave us the mechanism that they believe is the link between Tylenol and autism and ADHD, by the way. They said both. Okay? And it was interesting because they talked about a substance that you and I talk about a lot. And that is glutathione. What is glutathione? An amino acid. Your liver makes it. Velcro. That's what glutathione is. You know me, I always have these mental images, these pictures in my brain. When I think glutathione, I think Velcro. What? Yeah, Velcro. Why? Because glutathione is a master detoxer. Okay? People ask me all the time, Dr. Martin, should I do a detox? Yeah, I like the idea. Do the reset and you do a detox. What? You mean I don't have to drink anything special and, hold my nose and drink something to do a detox? No. Eat eggs, meat, and cheese. No sugar. And you know what'll happen? You empty your liver. You know what happens when you empty your liver? Your body produces even more glutathione. And glutathione is Velcro. And you know what Velcro does? Glutathione Velcro? It detoxes your body because it's Velcro and it attaches itself to yeast, to heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium, gets rid of plastics in your body, gets rid of all the toxins in your body. Your body is a lean, mean fighting machine. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. I say this all the time. If you don't believe in God, and you study the human body, I don't know what to tell you. It's unbelievable how your body operates. It's incredible. Come on. Anyway, glutathione is Velcro. And the School of Public Health of Harvard said, during pregnancy, you take Tylenol, it depletes your mitochondria's ability in the liver to produce glutathione. It diminishes it. Now, toxins stay in the bloodstream of mommy and baby, and that can have an effect on baby's brain. That's what I said, but I didn't say it. Harvard said it. And Robert Kennedy Jr. and his group at NIH and the CDC, they're going to put a warning out now. Tylenol already said it. The makers said it. Don't take it during pregnancy. So that's what was said, guys. Okay, because some people come out, Dr. Martin, we got an autistic child and we never took Tylenol. It's not the only cause, okay? Because you know me, I did this the other day. Leaky gut, leaky brain. I am so convinced that I am right about this. I've been saying it as it was in the days of Noah. I've been saying it for so long, talking about this. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Okay? Now the other thing, and this bothered some people again, okay? At least one on there. And I get, listen, I want you to have your opinions. So if you go on our site, just understand that I might push back, okay? Because if I see something that I don't think is right or true, because the leaky gut thing. What causes leaky gut? What did I say? Tylenol has an effect on the liver. Okay? But what it also is showing, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, painkillers over the counter. Tylenol is not exactly what they call an NSAID. Doesn't matter. It's in the same family. It affects the microbiome in the gut. So not only does it affect the liver, it affects the gut. And it causes a dysbiosis. It affects the good bacteria. And the good bacteria make up part of the border between your gut and your blood. You got a border there. Okay? You have a border. Just like there's a border between Canada and the United States, and between Mexico and the United States. We all understand that. Okay? I'm going into the States next week for some meetings. I'm going to have to cross the border. There's border guards. And sometimes they're nice. A lot of times they're not. You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Where are you going? And now they know everything ahead of time, right? When you get up when you're flying, at least, you get up to the border guard, and they got everything on you. Okay? They have everything on you. They know everything. And especially, I have a nexus, which is, it's a pre-clearance. So they go, Dr. Martin, what are you doing here? Where are you going? When are you coming back? Okay? But guys, you have that, or at least you should, on your southern border. What? Go south in your body. North is your head. Go south to your gut. On your southern border, between your gut and your blood, you ought to have a real good border guards there. And bacteria, the friendly guys, they make up part of that. Okay? They make up part of that. And they don't allow anything into your blood that doesn't belong. Isn't that wonderful? Think of it. No, you can't come in. Yeast, get out of here. You're not allowed. Mercury, out. Cadmium, out. Lead, out. Aluminum, out. You can't come in. What are you doing? You don't have a passport. You're not coming in here. But what happens when your gut is compromised? What happens? You took an antibiotic and you didn't regenerate or replenish the bacteria. What happens? Well, you got little leaks. And now the border is compromised. And toxins can come into the bloodstream. Folks, that is the essence of autoimmune disease. It's the essence of it. And again, if you follow me for any length of time, I've been talking about this for eons of time. Okay? Because I have been talking about the border, your microbiome, 40 years? At least. Okay? But nobody knew anything about it. And I can't say I knew compared to what I know today. But I've said this consistently since the 1980s, that autism, and in 1980, it was so rare, like 1 out of 50,000 or something like that. Are you kidding me? Why did you talk about it, Doc? Well, I had a colleague, not a couple, a colleague that had 2 autistic sons. And I'm telling you guys, there was nothing you could read about autism. I couldn't find it anywhere. But because I'm a radio guy and I did a radio show and I've written many, many, many books and I did a lot of TV and radio interviews, I talked about the importance of your gut and the microbiome. Okay? Even in chronic fatigue syndrome. I wrote a book about it. It was a factor. Toxins get into the body. How do they get in? Through the southern border. In your body. That's how they get in. And you get leaky gut, leaky brain. Because the same bacteria, guys, the same microbiome that's in your gut, mostly in your gut, okay, mostly. You have trillions of bacteria in your gut, not billions, trillions. But you also have a blood-brain barrier here. It's invisible. You can't see it, but it's there. Okay? One thing I did know in school in the 70s, okay, we were pretty stupid compared to what we know today. But, okay, we did study the blood-brain barrier. And what we knew about it? Nothing. Just that there was a barrier. And we didn't know how it worked, really. It tried to protect the brain, and that's what you and I have. And everybody has a blood-brain barrier. But if it's compromised, listen, Linda and Larry, listen. If it's compromised in the southern border, you get compromised in the northern border of the blood-brain barrier. Geez, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I just made that up. No. I've always used the illustration of the borders because people understand that. Okay? Canada, if Canadians want to go into the United States, you got to cross the border. If Americans want to come into Canada, they got to cross the border. Right? We understand that. Well, you have borders in your body. Between your gut and your blood and your brain, okay? The blood-brain barrier, the northern border. Oh, geez, I like that. I'm an illustrator, guys. Okay, some people think my illustrations are silly. But that's what I like. That's how I remember stuff, okay? Yeah. Now, so that's what we were talking about when it came to Tylenol, okay? And it affects the liver, no doubt about it. We've always known that. By the way, just, because people think that Tylenol is harmless. Well, I read this years ago. About 200,000 people a year are hospitalized with Tylenol poisoning. I know it's over the counter, and people take that. I know people that take it every day. And I used to try and warn my patients, don't do that. I know, Doc, but I get a headache every day. I need a Tylenol. I know I'm on your side, but you have no idea what you're doing to yourself. That's dangerous. It's an over-the-counter medication, but, and there's a big but there. and the problem with the liver is it can sneak up on you. And then all of a sudden you've got scarring in that liver. And it can be irreversible at times. Anywho, I just thought I would comment on it. And by the way, you look at, things that cause liver problems, okay? And the depletion of glutathione. I'll tell you, one of the other big things is the proton pump inhibitors, okay? Proton pump inhibitors, like over-the-counter, the purple pill, okay? Prilosec, and Nexium, and what is that called? Prevacid or Pepsid Complete. All the things that block your acidity also block the glutathione. So this is one of the reasons that we here, we talk a lot about this, is fixing the stomach. The first thing to fix your stomach is to change your diet. There's nothing that affects your stomach like eating the wrong food. And this is what happens in our population today. Why do you think, these medications are so popular? Like antacids, Rolaids, Tums. People got acid reflux. And I'll tell you, when you got acid reflux, it ain't no fun. Okay? I'm very sympathetic, guys. I'm very sympathetic. Dr. Martin, I can't stand it. I got so much acid reflux. Yeah, now trust me here. You need to trust me. You're not eating enough steak. What? No, you're not. And I proved it to people. You're a carboholic. That's why your acidity in your stomach has been creeping up. Okay? You don't have enough of it. You're not eating like a lion, yet your stomach is built like a lion. People, they look at me like I had not 2 heads, but 5 heads. What? I know, but you have you should have more acidity in your stomach than a lion has. And folks, the reason you need acidity in your stomach is you need to break down food, but especially protein. You see, your body, guys, was made so that you would eat your amino acids, the essential ones, and the non-essential ones. The ones that you need to eat are found in eggs, meat, and cheese. Now, there's a few proteins in vegetables, but they're not essential in a sense that you need complete protein. You need the building blocks of life, and they're found in eggs, meat, cheese. Your body was designed for it. Designed for it. And when you don't eat it, you eat salad. I love my salad, Doc. I heard that a million times. You mean I can't eat salad? Ooh. I said, well, you can eat it, but I don't want you to live on it. I want you to live on steak. Oh, women had a hard time with that one. They really did. Because they bought it in the 80s. Guys, I was around when it happened. When the world went stupid. I watched it. I was John the Baptist screaming in the wilderness. What are you eating? You're not a rabbit. You're not a cow. Cows eat salad, so you don't have to. No. You want to have a salad? Go for it. I mean it. You want to have a salad? Go for it. But just don't fool yourself, okay? Don't fool yourself. Dr. Martin. 1,000,000 times I heard it. On the radio, in my office. Well, it's alkaline. So what? What does that mean? Steak is acidic. So what? What's that mean? Well, it's acidic. You're going to die. Nah. Your body will buffer it out. Your body knows how to fix it. Because you need to eat it. That's where all your vitamins are. That's where all your minerals are. That's where all your amino acids are. That's where they are. They're in your steak and eggs and dairy. Okay? Eat it. It'll change your pH. And you'll see after 30 days, I must have taken tens of thousands of people off antacids. I said, look, I can understand you got to take a tum because you had a pizza. But you better not be on that all the time. You don't know how dangerous that medication is. It's worse than Tylenol, in my opinion, or antacids. Because your stomach, first of all, is made to eat meat. But second of all, you need that acidity. It's an anti-pathogen. What? Well, yeah. You got a defense mechanism right in your stomach to get rid of pathogens that come into your gut before they get to your gut. Your stomach, that acidity ought to just burn them right off. But not if you don't have enough acidity in your stomach. And guys, just you know this, but I'll say it again. Look, when you get acid reflux, it's not because you have too much acid in your stomach. It's because you have too much acid coming up the esophagus, and that happens when your body tries to compensate for the lack of acidity in the stomach. Your proton pumps make more acidity, and they come up the esophagus. One of the biggest reasons, by the way, we see so much esophageal cancer. Used to be rare. Now it ain't rare no more. Esophageal cancer is a fast growing, in terms of numbers, cancer. Because people are carboholics. They weren't a carboholics 100 years ago. But they are today. Because they've been lied to. Anyway, I didn't even get at the other things I wanted to talk about. I was down some real rabbit trails today. Okay. Now, tomorrow's Q&A. Send your questions in, okay? Send your questions in. Don't be shy. info@martinclinic.com. info@martinclinic.com. Do you get our emails? If not, go to martinclinic.com, sign up for our emails. They're so good. Well, I think they're good. I think they're good. Oh, we get a lot of feedback on our emails. Okay? We give a lot of information out. Information, guys, provides you with choices to make. I love information. It was one of the biggest beefs I had with medicine, is they don't give out information. I was talking to a lady the other day, diagnosed with cancer. They go to the cancer center and they talk Greek to them. the oncologist. You know, you need a medical degree to understand what he was saying. That's what she told me. And he said, like, she tried to ask a few questions, but she said, they give you so much information that don't mean nothing. That was like Greek. Anyway, like me, guys, maybe it's too simple. I'm a simple man. I got to make it simple for me. That's the way I learned in school. I would read all this junk, not junk, but you know what I mean. All this medical terms, Latin. And me, I have to break it down. I got to be able to see it. For me, bite-sized and simple. I can't understand it otherwise. Okay, guys, we love you. Talk to you soon.